Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Tuesday. It is April 14th, and we have some great news we're tracking out of Wall Street this morning.
The Dow is up significantly, almost 600 points. We'll show it to you, of course, a little bit later in the newscast, but that's good news after yesterday.
That's right.
It's a huge tumble yesterday. Boy, it's a roller coaster.
We are staying home, working safe, school at home, things like that. But every once in a while, you have to kind of get out. And we have another virtual way to kind of expand your horizons.
This is really ingenious. You know, all these companies are trying to find ways to entertain their customers, keep them in case, you know, when all this lifts, they'll go back. Well, one thing, wineries. They can't host the people in and out of their wineries anymore and have tastings and all of that, at least not in person.
That's right. One of the oldest commercial wineries in California, Buena Vista Winery, and many others, trying to stay viable and connected to their customers, as you said, during the pandemic. Actor George Weber, dressed in period clothing as the founder of Buena Vista in 1857, is now taking online viewers back in time, broadcasting several days a week inside the oldest wine cave dug in the state and offering a virtual tasting.
He said this is a remarkable opportunity to present the wines, the history behind the wines, the flavors and aromas of each wine in a format that provides time to talk about the wines, share his perceptions around the world with people. He said it's a fun and unique way to keep commerce going in these difficult times.
Let's see. Buena Vista is just one of several wineries, and I recognize some of these. I don't. You may know these better than I do, Les. Other wineries doing online experiences are the
Clos Duval.
Vaniente,
which is one of my favorites.
Is it Groth or Growth?
I think it's Growth, but I've heard people say Groth before too, so I'm not really sure.
Kendall Jackson's one of them. Contessa and
Plumpjack, those are really expensive wines.
Okay, and then Went.
I think, is it Went or Vente?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And Bouchain? How about that?
I think that sounds about right.
I'm going to lean on you and your Cajun roots for that.
Some of them I don't know, but I have visited Contessa and Plumpjack before when we visited wine country.
Well, Bouchain, a premier producer of estate Chardonnay and Pinot Noir in Napa's Carneros region, a virtual online experience that had been planning for months, was launched in mid-March at a crucial time. Those who want to take part in the tasting program order a winemaker tasting kit, which is delivered to their home. Bouchain's host leads the virtual tasting with a view of scenic rolling vineyards in the background.
And one last thing, he said, this is a fantastic way to connect with our fans, check on our club members, share a smile, share a glass of wine, and recognize we're here for each other and add a little bit of levity to the day.
So until we can go to Sonoma in person, this will have to do.
Let's take a look at your rundown.
New York, more than 10,000 people have now died from coronavirus, even though the governor says the worst is over. Hospitals in New York are still seeing 2,000 new patients a day.
Two federal courts have ruled to uphold lower court decisions that stop restrictions on abortions in Texas and Oklahoma. Both states had deemed abortions not essential and ordered them delayed during the COVID-19 pandemic.
A New York City pharmacist is accused of price gouging. Authorities say they seized thousands of N95 masks. They say he was selling each mask for about $22.
Millions of Americans are struggling to put food on the table, but at the same time, farmers are throwing out food at staggering rates because restaurants are closed.
The first patient in San Antonio that received plasma with COVID-19 antibodies seems to be making a recovery. Jimmy Hayden had been hospitalized with COVID-19 and was on a ventilator.
Former Vice President Joe Biden has won the Democratic primary in the state of Wisconsin. Biden head-to-head with Bernie Sanders, who was still in the race when the state voted last Tuesday. The Sanders later suspended his campaign and is now endorsing Biden.
That is Vogue magazine's editor, Anna Wintour. My, oh my, working from home in sweatpants. Less than a year ago, she said she never wears sweatpants.
Taco Bell wants to remind everyone we're all in this coronavirus fight together. The fast food chain is giving away free Doritos Locos Tacos for the third week in a row.
Stephen Burgess ran for 6 hours around his yard while neighbors and friends made donations. He raised $1,500 for charities. He ran 17 miles.
93-year-old woman with a special request. Olive held up a sign saying, "I need more beer."
Well, now Coors said, "We got you, Olive," and they sent her 150 cans.
You go, Olive.
That's fantastic.
Smart play by Coors.
Very smart. 150 cans. Good for her. She deserves it.
It'll last a little while.
All right, let's take you back outside with live cam. Beautiful day yesterday. Just a little too much wind to shake that pollen off the trees. Hopefully it's a little calmer today.
Yes, well, it's still going to be a little bit breezy, but not as strong as yesterday. And oak numbers are down, by the way. We were excited about that. Mold's still elevated, but oak's down a little bit. Clouds are starting to roll in. And temperatures, they're still chilly. 51 degrees at the airport, 45 Kerrville, 41 right now in Rock Springs. And you'll find some clouds, especially as you get south of San Antonio. Temperatures today only up around 66. That's it. Partly cloudy. 71 tomorrow. Should be a gorgeous day on your Wednesday. And then more humidity on Thursday. We'll get some rain chances back in here by the end of the week. Let's look at the cloud cover. We started off sunny here in San Antonio. You see those clouds slowly approaching town, and they'll be here for a little bit, so that's going to keep temperatures down just a hair today. We're looking at a high maybe around 66 here in San Antonio, 68 Uvalde, 69 down there in Carrizo Springs. We're going to talk more about the pollen count. Also, we're going to look ahead to the weekend, see how it's looking. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Transcat right now, 281 at Hildebrand. There's 35 at Evans. Don't see any accidents on these cameras.
Well, top stories we're following for you today. San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need your help to identify a robbery suspect.
The incident happened back on March 26th in the 700 block of East Houston Street. Take a good look at these pictures of suspects. Police say they assaulted the victim and got away with the victim's phone and wallet.
If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. You may be eligible for a $5,000 reward if your tip leads to an arrest.
A long-standing, a very popular tradition up in New Braunfels expected to be ready for its 60th annual celebration.
We're talking about Wurst Fest. The good news comes after the marketplace went up in flames last November. Renderings posted to the Wurst Fest Facebook page show that the new building is supposed to look like this.
That's right. The event will kick off November 6th to commemorate the 175th anniversary of the founding of New Braunfels. A tradition attracts thousands every year, and it started back in 1961.
The coronavirus pandemic has infiltrated the San Antonio Fire Department.
Fire Chief Charles Hood says a firefighter is now tested positive for COVID-19. The patient last worked April 7th and became symptomatic April 10th. That's when the firefighter was tested for the virus. Came back positive on Monday afternoon.
Chief Hood says the department has already started tracking down everyone who has had contact with the patient to make sure that they are screened and tested if necessary. SAFD employees are being screened twice daily, and equipment has been decontaminated. Turning now to your morning headlines, the White House is starting to look at getting businesses back open, and a scene out of the Wizard of Oz, not in Kansas, but in Georgia.
A storm gave folks a new address and a different way to clown around for hospital patients. Good morning to David Sears.
Hey, David.
Always got to come up with some new ways to do things these days.
That's the truth.
The clown actually came up with a pretty ingenious idea.
All right, what do you have?
So we'll get that for you. Hey, the White House starting to take steps toward getting the country back to work. They are putting together an economic task force. It will be made up of the president's senior advisor, Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, along with his daughter, Ivanka Trump, who's been working with small businesses. There will be other cabinet officials and business leaders involved as well. Remember, yesterday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said 80 million Americans will be getting their stimulus payments this week. He also announced the Paycheck Protection Program, or the PPP, for small business owners is ahead of schedule. The Daniels family rent house has a new address. It is now Highway 74, Georgia. Yes, that is a house on the highway. The home picked up off its foundation, then moved to the highway by a tornado that went through Georgia Sunday night.
My husband was sleeping, and I woke up all of a sudden, and before it hit, and the rain came, and I said, "Wake up! Wake up! Oh my God! Wake up!" And it's true. It sounds like a freight train.
Now, the renters of that particular house were not home at the time the house was moved. Daniel said the roof and part of the chimney gone, but the house sheared off tops of some trees while it was flying through the air. A bulldozer had to come in and move the house off the highway to clear the road. The house was built back in the 1950s. Toto and Dorothy have nothing on the Daniels family these days. Hey, more Mother Nature. Susan Haddix and a friend went for a walk to get some exercise in Alaska, and that's what they saw right there. A glacier collapsing. When they were walking, they heard some ice cracking, and being from Alaska, she pretty much had an idea something was about to happen. Sure enough, she got her camera out, got ready, and she got that incredible video of the glacier breaking down. Nobody was hurt. And finally, Cuckoo the Clown is not letting the coronavirus keep the laughs in quarantine. Calvin Kai Koo usually dresses up and visits local hospitals in California, but since the coronavirus hits, he can't physically get to the patients, so he has come up with another way to put smiles on faces.
A transformation of going from this staring type of look to seeing the screen and lighting up and their posture changing and seeing them playing along. I think that's a response that is just really truly makes this worthwhile.
So what he did was he got a computer, a green screen, and some props, and he's going virtual visiting to all the people in the hospital.
Got
cool or what?
So the old Steve Brown trick, puts on like a green cloak or something like that.
And there he is.
And then he disappears.
So, another ingenious idea.
I love it. Making people smile.
On faces.
All we're missing from that trick there, David, is some red suspenders. That'll do it.
All right.
Maybe not.
He's not clowning around. No.
He's not clowning around. David, thank you very much,
There's
sir.
just a lot of things going through my head on that one.
Same here. 9:08, 51 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Downtime from the coronavirus stay-at-home order has made a California man pick up a new hobby. Why his mini picnic tables are going viral.
Some states teaming up to make plans for reopening once the worst of the pandemic has passed. CNN's Whitney Wild live to break down what those plans look like later in the newscast.
And we are live outside North Rock Church, where multiple organizations are coming together, helping out, stepping up. We're gonna give you exact details. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. It smells amazing here. We're gonna give you an inside look right after the break.
And let's take a look at the Dow, and it's still up.
It's up 575 points at 23,963. As we navigate this pandemic, we are getting to see local community leaders step up and help out.
That's right. A local church is partnering up with Cruising Kitchens, H-E-B, and Black Rifle Coffee to help provide free meals and coffee to first responders and healthcare professionals all across the Alamo City.
Max Massey joins us live outside the North Rock Church. So how's it going out there, Max?
Good morning, guys. It is going really well, but it smells even better. They are cooking up a storm just behind me. Looks like they got burgers planned for today. We are joined Pastor Jonathan Moore. So, Pastor, what is the game plan for today?
Well, we're going to be feeding our first responders and healthcare personnel just like we have been the last 4 or 5 days. And we want to be the church. Church is not a place, church is a people. So we want to be the hands and the feet of Jesus. And honestly, we were looking for a way to give back in this season, and it turned out this idea came up. So we're going to be feeding first responders, all healthcare personnel between 11 and 3. Just come on through. We'll feed you lunch completely free.
We've been talking about what we're smelling here. We see some burgers, we see some cheese, but you're saying it's different every day.
Oh yeah, we're serving different things every day. So you don't just have to come one day and then come back and get the same thing. You can come back every day and you'll have a different lunch. And again, it's just something that the people who are on the front line, they don't have to think about for themselves. We want to think about this for you so that you can focus on what you were doing.
You say this all started with a conversation and it came to fruition so fast.
Yeah, it did. We started talking about it in the middle of last week with Cameron Davies, owner of Cruising Kitchens, who's a member here at our church. And by Thursday afternoon, we kicked it off at 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and we've gone straight through the weekend, even Easter Sunday.
I saw in the press release it aims to feed 150 to 200 people a day. How many people have you guys fed already?
Yeah, well, it estimated that we've fed almost 1,500 already in these first 5 days. They fed a ton yesterday. We're doing a lot of deliveries as well, so if you can't get here, we'll deliver to your healthcare facility or precinct. You just go to our website at northrocksa.com and go to our Feeding First page and sign up, and we'll bring some food to you.
All right, Pastor, thank you so much.
Indeed.
All right, guys, we are going to talk to the owner of Cruising Kitchens coming up at 9:30. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Max. Justin Horn joined us now once again here, 9:15, 51 degrees. Kind of a slow warm-up out there.
How was your Easter with the kiddos?
It was really good. Yeah. The eggs, we had the eggs around the yard. Some of them blew away because it was so windy, but it worked out pretty well. We had a really good
Excellent.
time. Yeah, excellent. And speaking of the kiddos, we've got a junior meteorologist this morning by the name of Holden. He did this as a science project. Check it out.
Hi, it's me, Holden Merritt, your local meteorologist. Today, it is going to be cloudy with a chance of rain. Tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy. Which one? Sorry, it's my first day on the job. Sunday is going to be cloudy with a chance of rain. Don't forget, stay inside and still find a way to have some fun.
Nice job.
Great advice.
Holden. Yeah,
Yes.
kind of digging the name, too.
For his first day, he did a very good job.
Thank
Very
you
good
so
job.
much. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I actually dropped the clicker before, so it happens. You know, you drop stuff and you're doing with it.
It does. How was our pollen count looking today?
You know what? Better, a lot better. So we had oak really drop off. It's in the moderate category now, 390. That is good to see. Mold still up there at 1,400, but it's also down from where it was yesterday. So some improvement here. Pecan grass still showing up, but they're very low. My hope, as we've been saying for several weeks now, is that we'll see a trend here where oak just continues to go down. Looks like there's still some out there. If you look at the trees, looks like we're still going to get a little bit more, but hopefully we're on a downward trend. Here's a look at the time lapse. We had clear skies this morning, but you see those clouds in the distance? Watch them build in. These clouds coming in from the south. That's a really cool look there on the time lapse. So we're going to get more clouds here over the next couple of hours. They may thin out this afternoon, but 51 degrees right now. Dew point is at 38. North-northeasterly winds at about 13. We can see them very nicely here on the visible satellite picture too. There are the clouds building in, basically south to north here. So northern Bexar County is still seeing a lot of sun, but as you go south, clouds really start to fill in there. Temperatures, 51 degrees at the airport, 50 at Randolph, 49 Stinson. With this cloud cover, we're not going to see a big warm up today. It's going to be another sort of coolish day with temperatures in the 60s. And then quite a bit of cloud cover down here around Carrizo Springs, Uvalde. You're seeing cloudy skies there. And then some breaks as you get out towards Kennedy. Clear skies for parts of the hill country, at least Kerrville and Fredericksburg, seeing clear skies. And temperatures really fell off there this morning as a result of those clear skies. We're also still getting some gusty winds. Winds calmed a little bit overnight, but they've picked back up again. We're seeing some gusts to about 20 miles per hour at the airport, 17 mile per hour wind gust there in Pleasanton. And the futurecast winds show that we're going to stay right in that range, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So a breezy day. And just like yesterday, once we get into the evening hours and the nighttime hours, these winds will calm some. Let's talk about dew points too. They're on the low end. We know that with northerly winds. We're going to see low dew points through about Wednesday, even Thursday is going to be pleasant. But as we get into Friday, those dew points start to jump up. And then over the weekend, we'll see some higher dew points, maybe dropping off a little bit on Sunday. And we'll see what happens Saturday. Some of the models indicating maybe a weak front moving in. That could dry us out a little bit. But the bottom line is we're going to get a little bit of rain, I think, as we get into Friday and Saturday. Here's the setup. You see some snow there across parts of the Texas Panhandle and some snow coming down Lubbock up towards Amarillo there. Some of it has been a little bit heavy. There's probably still some snow on the ground up there. There's a look, actually. This is TxDOT up around Amarillo. Snow on the ground, April. Kind of odd to see, but there it is. Just cold enough up there. Temperatures 28 in Amarillo, 31 right now in Lubbock, and then slightly warmer stuff as you get towards the coast. So Futurecast shows that we'll get an increase in cloud cover Friday. I mentioned some rain chances. It does show that Friday afternoon. Saturday, too, a little upper level disturbance rolls through Saturday morning, even into Saturday afternoon. We could see a shower or thunderstorm. We'll be on the tail end of things as we often are, but there is a chance there. Forecast for today, 66. We'll see mostly cloudy skies at least to start, and then some breaks in those clouds with some sun this afternoon. 71 Wednesday, 77 Thursday. Slight chance of rain, a lot more cloud cover Friday, and a 20% chance of rain on Saturday, too, with temperatures in the mid-70s. Guys?
Thank you, Justin. 919, 51 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9. These stay-at-home orders have inspired a California man to take up a new hobby. He's making picnic tables, but not for humans. We're going to show you coming up next.
23 minutes past the hour, a California man making the most out of his time at home during the coronavirus quarantine. He's gotten into woodworking.
The demand for his picnic tables has taken off, but there's something unique about his pieces. Most of his customers are furry.
Dina Kupfer with KOVR in Sacramento reports.
He's not a carpenter by trade, but the stay-at-home order has inspired Juan Nahara, who's in the refrigeration business, to chip up a new hobby.
I've handed out 75 of them. I have 43 on a waiting list as of this morning.
Using scrap wood from home projects, he is making picnic tables. But these are not your average tables. No, these are one of a kind.
Set it outside, you put a little treat, squirrels come up, birds come up.
That's right. These miniature wooden structures are for the squirrels.
and I put it on next door neighbor app. And from there, people are going nuts for it.
Pun intended. It's a project he never thought would take off the way it has, but Juan's creation is all the buzz saw.
I have two favorites. One is there's a squirrel and then there's a turkey right next to it. It looks like they're having lunch. And then another one came in where they actually painted it. And they did like a checker design on top of it.
So while we're all being told to branch off into smaller groups, Juan is helping his neighbors and their backyard visitors feel chipper.
Hopefully it, lightens up somebody's day and, brings some joy, to these difficult times that we're going through right now.
That is adorable. That was KVOR's Dina Kupfer reporting from California. The man, by the way, is giving away the picnic tables for free to his neighbors.
That's one way to do it.
It's pretty ingenious. Although Tony keeps trying to keep the squirrels away.
Right. This is inviting them to the table and stick around.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. Okay, 925, 51 degrees.
Coming up on GMSA at 9, much like the coronavirus pandemic now, back in 1918, the world was dealing with a similar health crisis. So how did San Antonio handle the Spanish flu? Justin Horn got some answers.
Department of Health and Human Services said it's looking at treatments that could use antibodies from recovered coronavirus patients to help others. CNN's Whitney Wild is live with details. Next.
And as we head to break, just real quick, I'm watching the Dow, and it has surpassed the 24,000 mark, which is good news to see for a change. It's up 621. Roadways are looking just fine right there. 410 at Jackson Keller. Plenty of sunshine.
We have some breaking political news. The Associated Press reporting that former President Barack Obama is set to endorse his former Vice President Joe Biden in a video sometime today.
Moving on to other news, CDC Director Robert Redfield said Monday the U.S. is nearing its peak for COVID-19 cases, and some areas are starting to talk about what it will take to get back to some sort of normal life.
CNN's Whitney Wild joined us live from Washington, D.C. with more. Whitney, some states' governors are starting to team up and make plans for reopening. What are they talking about, and what do those plans look like?
Well, what they're thinking is that this would be a staggered approach. So you have states on the West Coast, states on the East Coast saying, look, let's work together to try to reopen the economy in a specific and detailed way that would coordinate economic interests and health interests. So, for example, the New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, says this is not like flipping on a light switch. Instead, this would be a rollout over several months, and it would involve opening up some businesses, but not others. It would be a very specific, staggered approach to reopening the economies there, Mark and Leslie.
Well, ventilators continue to be in very high demand, and the Department of Health and Human Services announced a new ventilator contract on Monday. Can you break that down for us?
They're announcing contracts with 5 new companies to produce ventilators. So this means now total, there are 7 companies producing ventilators under the Defense Production Act. And the hope is that there will be more than 130 ventilators headed into the national stockpile by the end of the year. The early estimates say that around 6,000 could flow into the national stockpile by May and just under 30,000 by June, Mark and Leslie.
Health and Human Services said it's also looking into treatments that could use antibodies from recovered patients to help other patients. Nothing like this currently is being used. What is the hope there?
Well, this is really critical because the hope is that they will be able to use antibodies from recovered coronavirus patients through blood plasma to try to help patients who are battling the infection. So the idea is that you would give these infected patients a flood of antibodies through plasma, and that would help them recover faster, freeing up beds because, as we know, ICU beds are in short supply. The efforts here could be monumental, but unfortunately, we don't have a timeline yet on when this very critical treatment could be available, Mark and Leslie.
It's a changing scenario every day. We really appreciate you keeping us informed. Whitney Wild with CNN.
Live in D.C. Let's go outside with live cam back here at home. Justin Horn back in the conversation now, talking about these fall-like temperatures that continue. And am I detecting still a slight shake to the camera here on the tower downtown?
Yeah, a little bit. It's going to be a breezy day. I don't think we're going to see the winds like we saw yesterday, but it still will be a little bit breezy out there. We saw some clear skies last night. A beautiful shot here coming in on our KSAT Connect. And this is true. Right now, you can see Moon and Jupiter, Saturn and Mars. They're all sort of close together just because of the alignment. But this was taken out near Bracken Cave Preserve, and a really cool shot. We appreciate that. Now, since then, the clouds have started to roll in, and you can see that the cloud cover basically southern Bexar County, and then as you go southwest, it thickens up quite a bit. Pearsall to Uvalde, Eagle Pass, Del Rio, looking at cloudy skies. Up towards New Braunfels and San Marcos, though, skies are clear. 49 degrees, Canyon Lake, 48, Comfort, 46 in Kerrville, 50 right now at Randolph, 49 down there at Stinson. And the forecast for today takes us up to 66. Quite a bit of cloud cover, especially early in the day, and then partly cloudy this afternoon. Wind still out of the north, 10 to 15. And we've got some more sun on the way tomorrow. Some warmer temperatures, too. We've got the rest of your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Looking for accidents around town, and boy, it's quiet there at 10 of the Y near the Fine Silver curve. There's 281 at San Pedro. Some cars coming around the curve. Normal traffic flow for this time of day. 281, 410 by the airports.
Well, this morning, doctors, nurses, and medical professionals who are fighting the coronavirus up close and personal are being recognized as the heroes they are.
Indeed. Now, a local church is partnering with HEB, a coffee company, and a food company to help out. Max Massey joins us live outside North Rock Church. And Max, you say there is a daily goal here.
Good morning, guys. That's right. The press release says the daily goal is 150 to 200 meals every day. But yesterday, I'm told that they fed more than 500 people. We are here with the owner and operator of Cruising Kitchen, Cameron Davies. First off, not happy that you're wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing a full winter jacket. You're not making me look good. But yeah, yesterday you tell me that you fed 550 people.
Yeah, we did. It was a record day. You know, feeding first responders, those that are battling COVID-19 on the front line. You know, it was a record, but we're going to try to beat that today with burgers. You know, the word's getting out that we are doing it, and we're doing it for free. We're teaming up with North Rock Church, Black Rifle Coffee. It's a perfect mix.
Why are you guys doing this?
Why not? You know, food can put a smile on somebody's face. You know, we've already received stories from, you know, nurses and doctors that have forgotten their meals because of the craziness of battling COVID-19. And so this meal that they got delivered to them hot, you know, made their day. And it turned a bad situation good.
Now, what people on their screen right now, they're seeing you guys cooking burgers right now. What time did you guys get here to start prepping everything?
One man got here at 7. I got here about 7:45, just in preparation for the demand that we know we're going to have today. You know, the cool part is fire stations, police stations, you know, ambulance drivers, doctors, nurses, everybody in the medical field have caught wind of this, and that's a good thing. That's what we want. We're going to continue to do this until the demand is over and until we beat COVID-19.
We're here in San Antonio. Obviously, tacos are a staple. Yesterday, more of a staple for a lot of people.
Yesterday we did, you know, we fed 550, so that's 1,100 tacos. It was a long day. But, you know, North Rock provides great volunteers. I had my beautiful wife up here with me and some of my crew. Unfortunately, we've had to shut the shop down for a couple weeks due to the safety of our employees. But what better way than to come up here and give back?
Awesome. And you guys are also doing deliveries?
We're doing deliveries. So if you go to northrocksa.com, you can fill out a submission form. We'll deliver hot meals to you, whether you're at home or at work, or you can do a drive-through line like most of the officers and firefighters are doing.
All right, Cameron, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, if you have any questions, we have all that information right now. Just head to KSAT.com. Mark, Leslie.
Oh, what a terrific thing.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks, Max.
Well, many of us right now, even ladies, could use a haircut, right?
Are you telling me I need a haircut?
I'm not saying
No, I know.
that.
I'm just kidding. My husband,
I'm not that stupid.
retired military, so he's really, I mean, he likes it real short, over the ears, all that. And he can't.
It's just what he's used to.
Yeah, can't see his barber, making him a little nuts about it. So I told him I would cut his hair, right? Here's the thing I have to tell you before we even look at this. I did it. The plan was to do it Saturday. We ended up doing it Friday because we were Zooming with our friends and family all over the place, and they were like, oh, no, we got to watch this. So during a live Zoom with a bunch of people, family and friends all over the place, I gave Tony his haircut, and here's the proof.
He didn't have the clippers, right?
Oh, I had clippers.
I know, but you had to buy them, right?
Oh, I had them. It's Tony. Look at that. I think that technique is pretty good. I'm getting around the ears.
It's not good.
The line wasn't exactly straight back there. But watch this. This is a good cut right here.
Was that an arch cut? I mean, don't you normally go straight across?
I noticed that I kind of cut
up and over.
Cut 5 pounds off of me.
So he's talking to all of our family and friends. They're all watching us do this entire thing. Look! Oh, wait, that was a little bowl cutty. Tony. Don't laugh at me. He was a good sport.
What did he say about the end result?
He said, he looked in the mirror once and he said, I'm glad I can't see this part right here where I'm missing a chunk. The front's okay and it's over my ears. I can live with this until he can get to a professional.
All right, so I'm going to give you a B+.
Maybe a C-. I'm
going to be generous. I grade on a
nice
curve.
Of you. So Nicole and I decided to try to do our own gel nails.
Yes.
That
Not
didn't
so
go over well either.
Yeah.
That'll be on SA Live today.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I need to stick to what I do for a living is what I've learned in this.
Okay. I'm proud of you nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. You want to see the picture of us zooming? See that
there
they
you
were
go.
all watching us and
So you have
laughing.
multiple witnesses.
Yes.
Yes, you do. Well,
We
Tony, you're a brave
entertained
man. He asked for this, though, you said, right?
He was complaining. He didn't know how long he could take it with his hair touching his ears. And I said, I can do that. How hard can it be?
Right.
Well, I learned it's not as easy as I was thinking, but I did manage to get it where it wasn't touching his ears. Just not completely even all around the head.
Not bad. Not bad.
He offered to do mine, and I said no.
I'm impressed. I'm still going to wait on professional help.
You got a little time.
I know.
You're good.
Just a little bit. Okay. Right now we're at 9:38, 51 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
100 years ago, the world was dealing with a similar pandemic, and most of us weren't alive during that time. Justin Horan was set to find out how that crisis compares to the current one. We have his findings coming up next.
Check out stocks one more time, and the market is up over 500 points, 23,931.
While COVID-19 itself is unlike any virus we've seen before, a wide-ranging pandemic is not.
In 1918, the so-called Spanish flu spread like wildfire around the world, and it was a situation with some striking similarities to COVID-19.
So how did San Antonio fare in 1918? Justin Horn digs into the archives from Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam, Houston for answers.
On a hot, dusty September day, the reports began to come in.
Men who were very ill, and the doctor of the camp came to Brigadier General Estes, who was in charge. This is actually Camp Travis now, and he's diagnosed 51 cases of the Spanish flu.
Those at Camp Travis, which is now part of Fort Sam Houston, were quickly realizing that the 1918 flu pandemic had arrived to San Antonio. Quarantines were swiftly put into place.
And at that point, no contractors, no spouses, no one could get on or off the base.
World War I was winding down at this point, and many in the military knew the virus was out there and feared what was ahead.
Men started to come back home. We see it spreading, and eventually it goes all over the world.
At the end of September 1918 in Camp Travis, there were 51 known cases. Just 2 days later, an additional 240 cases are reported. On the 9th of October, the number of infected is around 1,000. And by the end of November, nearly 11,000 men have been treated for influenza at Camp Travis alone, an exponential growth. In 1919, a nurse assigned to Camp Travis would report 575 deaths from the pandemic. Sadly, the small mortuary at Camp Travis had to be altered to handle the sheer number of victims. Nurses, just like today, were on the front lines back then, some of them also contracting the virus. Meantime, quarantine orders for the civilian population of San Antonio came soon after Fort Sam Houston's, led by the city's health services director.
He shuts down schools, they stop plays, public meetings.
There was a debate back then, too, on how soon to do this. Regardless, the numbers were staggering.
A good number, but the number of people who contracted it, about 535 per 1,000, almost half of the population at one point or another got this.
In San Antonio, a town of around 150,000 at the time, more than 800 would lose their life. But for all of the similarities, there were some differences.
The other thing is that it tended to affect the young more quickly and in many cases worse than the old, which we see in the current flu, not so much the case.
Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
Should be noted the Spanish flu likely did not originate in Spain. It was given that name because Spain's press, the first to report the spread of the disease, and then many mistakenly believed that Spain was ground zero.
Researchers are still actually studying possible origins of the 1918 pandemic. That's fascinating stuff, Justin.
It really was fascinating to sort of dig into the history. And thanks, by the way, to the Fort Sam Houston Museum. They provided us with a lot of those pictures. But pretty interesting to see how quickly it spread across the world, mainly because the troops are coming home from World War I, and that spread the virus across the world.
I saw a special on it on, I don't know if it was Netflix or something, and it's eye-opening and it's frightening at the same time, and you realize that as scary as it is for us, because we've never been through anything like this,
Sure.
we have been through it. As a society, we have been through this before.
It's true, and imagine going through it coming off a world war. So it was difficult back then too, but very interesting to dig into it. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk cloud cover now. It's starting to spread in here across Bexar County, and we're seeing the clouds fill in here in town too. Now, if you're on the north side of town, you're still seeing a little bit of sun, but the clouds starting to thicken up a little bit as we get towards downtown and then south along I-37 and I-35. Temperatures still in the 50s. It's a little chilly out there. 51 degrees at the airport, 50 Randolph, 54 Castroville. And then as we look south, cloudy skies, Carrizo Springs over to Uvalde. And then north is where you'll still find some clear skies, although the clouds are trying to fill in here too. So 48 degrees right now in Kerrville, 47 in Fredericksburg. Here's a look at the time lapse. It gives you an idea of how these clouds sort of spread in. We started off clear this morning, and then slowly but surely, here they come. 51 degrees. Dew point is 38 at the airports. The air is still really dry, and we've got a north-northeasterly breeze at about 13. It's still going to be a little bit breezy today, by the way. Wind gusts right now, 20 miles per hour at the airport, 22 Gonzales, 23 Beeville. Look for winds to stay in that 15 to 20 mile per hour range with a bit of gustiness with it, maybe some gusts up to 25. Dew points show that we're going to see dry air today, tomorrow, probably even into Thursday. But as we get into Friday, dew points start to jump up some. And even into the weekend, we may see some higher dew points depending on whether or not our frontal boundary moves through. Even if it does, it's not going to cool us down a lot. This is not going to be a strong front. So a couple days here where we get to enjoy some of this really nice dry air. And it has been cold across the state of Texas. It's been pretty impressive to watch the snow that has been falling across parts of the Texas Panhandle. We've seen that in Amarillo and Lubbock this morning. Not a lot of accumulation, but it's mid-April. You don't expect to see a whole lot of snow in Texas, and you see the northerly winds. We're all enjoying sort of this cooler weather. 37 Wichita Falls, 45 right now. Dallas, it's still 31 in Lubbock and 28 there in Amarillo. So here's what our futurecast shows. We're going to see basically some clouds today, a little bit of clearing tomorrow, and then the clouds try to come back Thursday. So this is 5 o'clock. Clouds are starting to move back in. By Friday, we could start to see a couple showers around here. Mostly light stuff, but it will be cloudy on Friday. I think you'll start to feel the humidity a little bit more. And then a little upper level low comes in Saturday. This should be enough to get some showers, maybe a thunderstorm going, especially by Saturday afternoon. Now, once this moves by, we should see clearing on Sunday and some pretty nice weather. Forecast for today, 66 degrees, the high temperature, breezy, northerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures will fall off tonight again, and we'll start off at 44 on your Wednesday. Mostly sunny, 71 tomorrow, 77 Thursday, partly cloudy. And then more clouds on Friday, 20% chance of rain. Saturday, 20% chance of rain. We'll go 70s for now. Depending on whether or not a front comes through, that will dictate whether that temperature goes up or down. But right now we're thinking mid-70s. 85 on Sunday with clearing skies, and 84 coming up on Monday. Guys.
Thanks, Justin. 9:48, 51 degrees.
You're watching GMSA at 9, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar. Apple preparing some major upgrades to their upcoming 2020 product lineup. Bloomberg reporting that 5G capabilities are being added to 4 new iPhone models. Apple's upcoming iPhone Pro models will also reportedly be equipped with 3 cameras. Additionally, Apple redesigning the iPhone Pro to have flat edges similar to the one found on the current iPad Pro models. Meanwhile, Facebook getting back in touch with their roots as the tech giant, launching a social networking app called Campus. This is exclusively for college students. Students need a college email to sign up, and once accepted, users can fill out personal information like their graduation year, major, and even place of residence. And Kentucky is teaming up with Kroger to provide drive-through coronavirus testing for over 20,000 people. According to the Kentucky governor, Steve Beshear, the goal is to double the amount of testing across the state. And testing kits are reserved for healthcare workers, first responders, patients over 65 years of age or older, and those with chronic health conditions, and it comes at no out-of-pocket cost. And that's your Cheddar Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado, coming to you from New York City.
Got to try to style my hair like Baker's someday.
Good luck with that one.
Thanks. Check this out. Employees at one Houston hospital wanted to do something to lift people's spirits amid the coronavirus pandemic.
The employee choir at University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center put together a performance with a very clear message. You can count on me. Take a listen.
You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2. We'll be there.
Employees got together from 30 different locations to sing a rendition of Bruno Mars' song, Count on Me. Each member recorded their own part individually using an instrumental track. It was then mixed and edited together.
The song is a way to pay tribute to the fellow healthcare workers in the front lines of the COVID-19
we love it.
pandemic.
Well, until now, we know how they're doing some of this harmonizing.
Yeah, they have programs for it.
Yep, awesome. Let's go outside with TransGuide one more time, see how things are looking out there in the highways and byways of the Alamo City. 281 at Hildebrand looking great, 35 at Evans as well. If you have to go out and run any essential errands, now would be a great time to do so after our newscast.
Something tells me, though, that if I were to sing, they wouldn't be able to edit out the bad part of it.
The bad part, yeah, you don't want me on this.
No.
No.
66 degrees today. We're seeing some clouds right now. These will thin out a little bit as we get towards the afternoon. 71 on Wednesday, mostly sunny. Some warmer temperatures by the end of the week. We do have some rain chances, though, Friday into Saturday. Right now, just a 20% chance. Not a great chance, but it is there. We'll see some more clouds, certainly, by the end of the week.
Have a great article to wrap up things with from Erica Hernandez on our website at KSAT.com.
Principal Justin Saunders personally delivering good news to graduates.
That's right. This is Justin Saunders, the principal at Somerset High School. Want to make sure the top 10 of this year's senior class were told some good news in person.
He said he wanted to make sure that you just said that, so he personally visited 10 homes and gave each student a cookie that revealed their class ranking in the goodie.
In a Facebook video, Saunders said he really wanted to see his kids and give them some positive news.
It's also worth noting, by the way, this is the first time in over 10 years at Somerset High School that the top 10 students are made up entirely of females.
Congratulations to the students and their families. So that video, you can check it out again on our website at KSAT.
And we've seen other creative ways where, like, I think it was at a Starbucks or something, where there was a principal that went to the drive-through to tell her student, you're a top 10 or you're the valedictorian or whatever.
Awesome.
They're having to miss so much with their proms and graduations and all of those things.
And there's a screenshot from the article with Erica Hernandez again on our website.
Wow.
Congratulations, everybody.
That's terrific.
Be curious to see how graduations are held this year. Or
they'll be virtual probably is what I'm thinking will have to happen. But we'll see. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Be safe. Our crews are back for the news at noon. We'll see you in a couple hours.